Welcome back to the Takeout. The Anti-Defamation League and its CEO Jonathan Greenblatt have announced and launched an initiative to monitor the incoming Mamdani administration in New York and its policies and its appointments to, it says, help protect Jewish New Yorkers. Here is how the mayor-elect has responded to that.
I have not spoken to Jonathan Greenblatt. I take the issue of anti-Semitism incredibly seriously. And last night in my speech, I spoke about how my city hall will stand steadfast with Jewish New Yorkers in fighting the scourge of anti-Semitism across the city and making that clear in the actions that we deliver on from January 1st. And I look forward to working with Jewish leaders across this city.
Jonathan Greenblatt joins me now from the Broadcast Center in New York. Jonathan, welcome back to the program. Do you take the mayor-elect at his word, and do you look forward to talking to him in the near future?
Well, thank you for having me, Major. I think your question gets it right. I take him at his words. That's why we're concerned. So look, he is the mayor of this city. We congratulate him on his election, but our concerns are real because of what he has said, not last night in his acceptance speech, but over the years. He has made comments, he has endorsed policies, he has pushed ideas that have endangered Jewish New Yorkers in a time when anti-Semitism has reached all-time highs. So we launched the Mamdani Monitor in order to track what happens in this administration without bias, without prejudging. We want to see, as you said, who he appoints, what his personnel looks like, what policies he pushes, and what programs he introduces to make sure these keep Jewish New Yorkers safe.
Jonathan, according to the exit polls, 32% of self-identified Jewish voters in New York supported Mayor-elect Mamdani. What, if anything, does that tell you?
Well, look, these numbers last night were extraordinary. Millions of people voted. And it shouldn't surprise us that a number of young Jewish voters voted for Assemblyman Mamdani. They did that because his message on affordability was very powerful. But at the same time, to be clear, promoting ideas like the BDS movement, which espouses, if you will, or purports to be nonviolent, but actually increases violence, or suggests that he's going to cut ties with the Cornell University facility on Roosevelt Island, not because of the quality of its research, Major, not because of its graduation rates, but because it has a connection to an Israeli university. I mean, things like this, or if you will, dignifying the comment, glorify the Intifada, all this makes Jews nervous because of the levels of discrimination, vandalism, and violence we're seeing. This morning in Brooklyn, blood red swastikas were painted all over a Jewish school. Now, I will credit Mayor-elect Mamdani called it out on X. That's a good thing. But I want his policies, I want his programs to do more than just call it out. I want them to create a city where Jewish New Yorkers and all New Yorkers feel safe, regardless of where they worship or, where they're from.
How soon do you expect to meet with him?
Look, he is the mayor of this city, and I may criticize him on the campaign, as I have done, but if he wants to meet with me, I will meet with him today. I mean, we are an institution at ADL. Our job is not to, play for the red team or the blue team. We call balls and strikes. And as an institution, we have an obligation to work with our elected officials, with our policymakers, to make sure that, the policies and programs keep all Jewish people safe. So I would not do that meeting alone, I would say. I would want other communal leaders, spiritual leaders to be part of it. But he's the mayor, and we got to work with him, and we're prepared to do that when the time comes.
Jonathan, I'd like to also have you evaluate the conversation that has been going on for more than a week in Republican circles about Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, and the platforming thereof.
Yeah, look, I'm glad you asked. It reminds us that neither side of the spectrum is immune from anti-Semitism. Intolerance happens on both sides, and specifically here. Look, it's not just that the interview with Nick Fuentes that Tucker Carlson did was so repellent, although it was. Tucker Carlson has been laundering hate for years, specifically anti-Jewish bias, Holocaust deniers, ugly anti-Zionists, and all kinds of people. That's the problem here. Now, I will tell you, I was pleased that Kevin Roberts called out Nick Fuentes' disgusting anti-Jewish hatred. But why would you run cover for Tucker Carlson? The Republican Party has got to figure this out people like Ted Cruz, Dave McCormick, Lindsey Graham seem intent on doing so, and that's a good thing. I hope things work out the right way, just like on the far left. The anti-Zionism and the anti-Semitism of some fringe folks on the progressive side also need to be worked out. Let's hope that that happens on both ends of the spectrum, Major, so a strong center can reemerge where everyone is accepted.
Jonathan, very quickly, Kevin Roberts, you mentioned a significant figure at the Heritage Foundation Action and Heritage Foundation. Would you like to see in this moment President Trump weigh in on Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes?
I think it would be a positive development if the president, who has Jewish grandchildren, has a Jewish daughter and son-in-law, who's done so much to support the Jewish state of Israel and frankly support the Jewish community on college campuses. No one has a stronger voice on these issues than him. If he weighed in, it might be very, very powerful.
Jonathan Greenblatt, always welcome on this program. I appreciate your time, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good to see you.